And welcome to another edition of South Texas Now. This is attorney and nurse practitioner Joe Flores. We remind you to join us not only on NBC, but CBS, also on Caja, Telemundo, CW3, and KTMV. And we also simultaneously broadcast it on radio as well. So we also, a lot to take in here, on social media, all the leading social media. For those of you insomniacs like myself, I posted something that I was going to interview a very special guest and kept it a surprise. But with me today, I have the honor of bringing on, I would say, the most powerful, influential woman in town, along with the county judge, and that is our mayor, Paulette Guajardo. How are you?
Joe, how are you doing? I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. It's been pre-COVID interview?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
My gosh.
That's right. It's been years.
Yes.
At least 3.
So catch me up a little bit. Your son, my daughter, they've grown up. They've gotten big. And my daughter started college, by the way.
I cannot believe that.
I know. She's off. It's her first week. And
amazing.
and she actually interviewed me, if you can believe that. I had her interview me, and then they showed it to the college people. But,
as a project.
Yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to catch up with you. And, of course, you are our mayor.
Yes, sir.
Now, a lot of people out there, they just say, oh, mayor, it's a big deal, right? But they have no idea what a mayor does. Can you kind of briefly explain to us what your job duties are, what a day-to-day thing is?
Yes. So thanks again for having me on the show.
You're welcome.
This is wonderful. And, of course, like you said, we go way back years from when our children were children, young children. But no, being a mayor, first of all, let me say I want to thank all of our residents. I just want to thank everyone out there, especially those who supported me in running for mayor a year and a half ago, almost 2, because it's just been a true blessing. And it is, I don't take it for granted. This platform is one that it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, literally. And so for me to be able to say I'm a Hispanic female who takes the title of being the 58th mayor of the city of Corpus Christi is just an honor. So I want to start by saying that. So being mayor has been just an unbelievable ride. It really, really has. And so am I busy? Yes. I guess I won't say this as a question, but what I signed up for, as you well remember, was I'm going to be your full-time mayor. And so
I remember
that means working full-time. And as you've seen me, I have done that. To me, it's a promise kept, to our constituency, because, every day I start the day and I keep going. I just go every day, all day, until, the end of the day. And really, it's more than just the end of the day. It depends on what your end of the day is, right? And I have to balance that with family, of course. And I do that by the grace of God. But, I'm in a lot of meetings, and I interact more so with our residents, with, this community more than anything. And that's the way I believe it should be. Because any mayor, the position of the mayoralship belongs to the people of Corpus Christi. I am hired on for 2 years to do a job. I'm hired on, and you can either, reapply for the job and hopefully get hired on again for the next 2 years, or not get hired on. And so my evaluation is based on what I've done the last 2 years, and have I kept my word, and have I kept my promise. And so I believe that I have, and I've loved it, and I think it's it's a lifetime opportunity to be able to do everything that I can do in a very short period of time. 2 years is not a long time, and as you know, we're now in re-election season, so we have to now multitask, continuing to lead the city in the direction that it should be led in, while campaigning and doing all of that, so that I can continue the progress that we have seen and have made.
And it's been a while since I've seen you, but I listened to public radio. I heard the routine updates, the vital updates that people needed in Spanish and English during COVID.
Yes.
The hard work that you did. One story that I always tell people is, I remember there was a widow, and I called you up, and they had charged her like $30,000. It was a leak from the city. Not anybody's fault. It just happens, right? But it was on her land and stuff, and I think the water department handled it and things. But I mean, if it wasn't for you instrumental communicating with those departments and letting everybody do their job, but simultaneously saying, hey, there's an issue. And the lady was just... And I see you everywhere, and I know that I know you personally, that your work is sincere. You're working with children and the elderly and veterans, and it must be hard having to do a lot of appearances. On a weekly.
Yes, on a daily. I mean, on average, I would say my schedule consists of, on average, probably 5 or 6 different events, and not necessarily just celebrating another business, opening doors here in Corpus Christi, but meetings, very important meetings. I mean, Peter, our city manager, Peter Zanoni, and I are in constant communication on city business. And, I'm downstairs, he's upstairs, and so we are running back and forth and always talking and making certain that we're moving the needle.
Well, I'm very excited because, I have a daughter, and, this is a very exciting time for everyone.
Yes.
But we have 2 ladies at the helm for county and city, and that happen to be Latinas as well. Mm-hmm. And this is a very historic time.
It is.
So as far as that being said, with the 58th mayor, in fact, a friend of mine, his ancestor was Reuben Holbein. He campaigned by horseback, my crazy friend Tommy Holbein, and his he was mayor of Corpus Christi, Reuben Holbein.
Wow.
At least we don't have to campaign on horseback.
Not on horseback.
But it's hard enough already. But really and truly, I want to say that my daughter really looks up to you, and I think a lot of people that aspire to be do something productive with their lives. Yes. Do you often get an opportunity to talk with young people about education and about aspiring to do something with their lives? Yes,
I do. And although, city business is obviously very important, and that's a huge responsibility of mine, I hardly pass up a chance to be a part of anything that I'm invited to in terms of the young people. Tomorrow, as a matter of fact, it's a good example. I will be a moderator and interacting with a panel for, it's called Leadership, Lead Hership, right? H-E-R.
I like it.
Lead Hership, yes. And this is an event that's going on tomorrow for 13 to 19-year-old girls. And so it's the perfect age. They want to see and hear my story. And you can imagine, to hear from someone who looks like them, who is a female, who has a story to tell, and is giving the time to say, you're important. I want to come and speak with you. Because, the kids, it's a little bit harder during the week. They go to school, and then they have practice or what have you. It's studying, and so their week's a little bit difficult to get these events in, but which is why it's tomorrow. But I'm very excited to do that because I believe, as we know, it all starts, their foundation begins when they're young. And so, especially in their teens, it's just super important that they do know that their mayor of Corpus Christi does care about them. They exist. I know they exist. I believe that they too have a voice. And it is our responsibility to talk with them and to let them know, hey, this is my story. Here's how I did it. Here's why there is hope, regardless of your circumstance. So I'm very excited about that tomorrow.
You know, we've got a couple of minutes before the break, but I want to talk more about that when we come back. But in the last couple of minutes before the break, I know that people have a lot of questions, but for the last couple of minutes, what's the main topic? What's the main thing, one of the top things that you get asked or the constituents want to know about? The hard questions sometimes that you get that may be difficult to answer all by yourself, but you have many people around you that are there to help. But what are some of the main challenges?
As mayor or city?
As mayor.
Well, as mayor, it's really the balance of taking care of all of the issues, because there are so many critical issues that we're working on, and we'll get into that. But streets is always number one.
No, my
right?
gosh.
Right? You've got your streets, which that is a $1 billion issue. You've got public safety, making certain that we have our police officers and our firefighters. You have our water situation. We must have an uninterruptible source of water, and we're working on all these things. And then you have quality of life. Everyone, our parks need to look great. We have to have a good quality of life. We always have to be improving them. So there's all of these different issues that different people bring up. And your issue may be, well, water matters to me the most. Somebody else may say, well, the parks matter to me the most because I want to raise my family here, and I want to have nice parks, or I want to have this or that, or many different things. So everyone has a different priority. But at the end of the day, what's number one, hands down, is our public safety. If we don't have that front line, then parks don't matter. Water drinking, having water to drink doesn't matter. None of that matters. Streets don't matter. We have to have a strong public safety line of defense. And that is in any city. So that always is a given. That's number one. And then we move on to, the rest of the issues. But you really have, it's all across the board. So the hardest thing is balancing that. But that's why you have a council to say, I think we should have, this much money allocated here or there, and it's all over. A variety of things. And that's what we're in right now, the budget. And that's exactly what we're discussing now. So we can come back to that and discuss.
Well, you're listening to the mayor, and she had a brief break in her very busy schedule. I'm honored to have her on here on South Texas Now, Paula Guajardo. We're going to take a brief break, and when we come back, we're going to get the meat and potatoes of what goes on with the city and educate people out there on what it takes to take care of this city when we come back.